Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. I am coming at you live from Florida. We're actually going to talk a little bit about my vacation. If you hear some noises in the background, my apologies. It's literally there's a bird right there, but there's also air conditioners because it's actually warm down here. Sucks to be all those people up in Michigan. I love you all, but I am so happy I'm getting this vitamin D. If it's a little windy, I apologize. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my vacation, if you will. Some things that I've done specifically to stay on track and some things that I'm noticing just with people, just watching people, hearing people speak, hearing people talk, all this stuff. And if I kind of get quiet, it's because people are walking by. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that I've done this week to help me stay on track. And the first thing is obviously getting in my movement. So whether it's steps, I'm also still continuously going to the gym. I haven't stopped going to the gym. I know some people might find that like, oh my God, you're on vacation, Sarah. It's so obsessive. It's actually not, because this is how I honor my body. And I think that honoring our body is something that we don't do enough of. Our bodies were made to move, and my body likes to move even when I'm on vacation. And one thing that I will say, the flip side of movement on my body itself is this. It helps me stay on track. Like, it's part of my routine at home. And so for me personally, if I don't do it, it's not about, I'm not going in and hitting a bunch of PRs. In fact, I'm at a Planet Fitness, so I can't deadlift. I'm not squatting. None of my routine is the same. I even the first day tried to go like emulate, essentially, like kind of modify my actual workouts, and it wasn't working. So I just decided to switch. And the moment I switched, I'm like, oh man, these workouts are really good. Like, yes. Sorry, my apologies for the yawn. But yeah, like literally it's just been like, at the moment I switched my workouts, I'm like, okay, I felt like I actually got a really solid workout in today. And it's just being able to flex this way. That's what I love about Basics on Demand, is that if you're a part of either group coaching or Basics on Demand, those clients have access to change at any given time, right? So if they end up having, to go travel, or they travel for work, or whatever the case is, they literally can swap their workout program. So like, even for me, I have a Planet Fitness workout program built in specifically for people like me who want to go and train still, maybe if they don't have access to a regular gym. But if you're a Black Card member, you can get access to any Planet Fitness, which is awesome. But outside of that, anyways, so there's two caveats, for me still continuously training on my vacation. And the first one, obviously, like I had said, is I just feel better. It's how I set my routine for the day. And just the second one is that our bodies were made to move. They're not made to sit. And in fact, like the 2-day drive that we drove down here with, it was terrible because I sat for so long. My left hip started hurting really bad. It just felt very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. So there were 2 days, Friday, and I think it was Saturday. Excuse me again. Whew. Friday, Saturday, I did not train. And then I started training on Sunday. No, Friday I did train. I trained before we left. So it's just Saturday that I didn't train. It was my rest day. And I sat long enough. But my steps have been pretty high yesterday. I got 16,000 steps. Today, they're low. It's what time? 4:25 p.m. here, and I don't even I'm like 30 steps shy of 4,000 steps. But yesterday I went to the gym, I went on a walk, we walked down to this place called Sharky's, right? So I got on a lot more steps yesterday than I did today. It's all going to balance out in the end. But I think a lot of people don't realize either that this is why a lot of people end up losing weight on vacation, because you're actually moving more than what you normally would at home, especially if even me, right? My norm is not 16,000, 17,000 steps a day. My norm is, I'm pushing to get those 10,500 steps that I'm at right now currently. So when I add another 5,000 steps in my day, it's going to shift some shit, right? When you are used to only getting 2,000 steps, but you go on vacation and you get 8,000 steps a day, that's going to shift some shit. So you have to be open to considering, like, that is going to fucking make a difference. That fucking matters. So So there's, that element. So that's something I've done. I went to the grocery store. I actually brought my own yogurt down with me that I love, my ratio protein yogurt. I went to the grocery store. I bought fruits and granola to add so that I literally go work out. I come back home and I have my yogurt bowl, my bowl of shit. It's the same shit that I've been eating for the last however long. So it's not any different, right? This is all the same. Other things that I did, they did they did hot dogs and brats one night for dinner. I went and I bought my own turkey hot dogs. So there's just certain things that I am paying more attention to. The first night that we got here, we went out for dinner. I got this sauteed chicken with mashed potatoes, right? Yes. Am I having some more boozy drinks than normal? Yes. Am I drinking probably earlier in the day than normal? I am. These are the reality things, but there's other things that I'm doing. I'm not just saying, hey, this is my excuse. This is my reason to just go fucking balls to the wall and gangbuster. And in fact, I just got a message today from one of my clients who said, so I've been working with her. You've heard me talk about her before. She's the one that had weight loss surgery at 22 years old, and she struggled a lot with food noise, grew up in a very food conscious home, meaning everything was based around food. Everybody talked about everybody's body. Everybody was always on a diet in her home, those kinds of things, okay? And we were talking about how, her food noise and she's pregnant right now. She got pregnant 5 to 6 months after we started working together, but how her food noise has pretty much disappeared, and how she told me flat out oh, I have this excuse, I have this reason, I'm pregnant. I could literally just go gangbusters and just gorge myself to death, right? I could do it, and I could say, oh, it's because I'm pregnant, or I'm hungry all the time because I'm pregnant. And she's like, I'm just not doing it. I just don't feel it's necessary. I don't need to, because I know now that I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and it doesn't mean anything about me. And this is the place that I'm at, right? I can eat whatever I want, but I can also make a different choice if I want to. This is what I'm noticing as I'm down here and I'm watching people eat food, and the lack of movement or the complaining of movement, all these things where people are just oh, I'm tired, or oh, I'm this. It's it's wild. It's absolutely wild to me that this is where we are. That this is so abnormal, that me being on vacation and eating my little yogurt or going to the gym, people have to make comments about because that's obsessive, when really it's the fact that you don't do those things, I think, is actually abnormal, right? You think what I do is obsessive, and I think what you do is disrespectful to yourself. And it's that simple, right? And now, this is not a judgment piece where I'm oh my God, I can't believe you're disrespecting your body, right? There is an element of that, but it's also more so an element of, why is what I do so fucking weird and obsessive, but what you're not doing is fucking normalized? And this is where, what I'm noticing as I'm inundated with people who are not paying attention, who are not conscious of what they're doing, who are not in awareness, or are in flat out hey, I know this is what I'm doing, but I deny it. Oh, I'm not that bad. Or the people who go, oh, I'm just going to start when I get home. All this stuff, that is mind-boggling to me as a coach, as now, not even just a coach, but as somebody who is turned my life around, who used to be that person, who no longer is, right? Today was really cool. We went to this Grand Prix, NASCAR, whatever, indoor go-karting track. And never once did I worry about if the seat buckles were going to fit me. Never once did I worry about if I was going to, there is a weight limit on these carts. Never once did I have to go, fuck, right? I would have. I'm oh my God, the seatbelt doesn't fit me. Oh my God, I can't buckle this. Oh my God, am I under the weight limit? Or, oh my God, I'm barely under the weight limit for this, right? The same thing happened to me last year when we went to Cedar Point. I never had to worry about fitting. Okay? People we were with did not fit. They got kicked off the thing because they could not fit in the seats. That used to be me. That used to be me. I don't want that to be me. I want to be better. Not because I want to go do all these things or not be judged by others, but because, damn it, I don't want to be the mom that can't go do the things with my kids because I can't fit into shit. And I know that sounds harsh and that might be mean, but fuck, that is a huge driver. And if you have kids and that's not a fucking driver for you, that's a problem. Like, that's a really big problem. That you're just good with letting your kids go off and do and make these memories by themselves, or not being able to participate themselves because you made a choice not to change. You made a choice to be this way. And I'm sorry, but it's a choice at the end of the day. I'm not saying it's an easy one, and I'm not saying there's not a lot involved. And if you are new to this podcast, welcome. But if you are not, you already know it's just so much bigger. It's so much bigger than just count your macros, drink your water, get your movement in, blah, 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 eat your protein, right? You already know that I feel this way if you know me and you've listened to the podcast. But this is, the truth. It's the truth. And there's times where I thought that I might have to sit back and watch because I wouldn't fit in something, or I'd be too heavy for something, or I couldn't walk long enough, or I couldn't do the things. Couldn't walk upstairs without getting fucking exhausted or sweating my ass off. Like, these are real problems that you have. I know you have because I'm watching it real time and because it fucking used to be me. I didn't get to 250 pounds and not experience all this shit, guys. I've been there. I have been there where you've been. And I understand how frustrating that it can be. And I'm telling you that if you have something coming up, or you have this trip, or you're like, man, I just want better for myself. This week has been eye-opening to me. Just flat out eye-opening. I don't give a shit what I look like in my bathing suit. I don't care. I just want to go make the memories. I want to be there for my kids. And I want them to experience all the things that they can with me, not with me watching. I want them to experience them with me and not with me watching. So this is my podcast for today. I know it's late, typical from my, Wednesday podcast, but I hope you guys are having a great week. I thoroughly am enjoying my vacation so far, and unsure if there will be a Friday podcast, so just keep your ears open, and you never know what you might get. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Happy hump day. Catch you on the flip side.